What you can see here is the tunnel from my TR4, covering the prop shaft. This part here is all rotten, and you can see where the seatbelt clip will go in there. That is rotten as well. This has got an indentation, a swage in it, and you can see that you've got a transition from the curve of the tunnel where it's offset. This side and this side are different, so I've got to recreate this as best as I can when I put the new kickboard in and into the new floors. With my trusty swaging rollers, the FJ Edwards ones I've had for a good many years, I've created the swage for this section of the tunnel that I'm going to replace. This is the area here where the seat belts will go. Ideal size rollers, nice and adjustable, so I've got a nice deep in. This is the end of the tunnel, which is unusable. I've put a mark here where I'll cut this out. I'll replace all of this bottom edge with new metal. This is where it fixes into the floor, and this section at the top here is where it goes into the kickboard. The original one is on the inside there, and you can see it protrudes, and I have to recreate that. This is the section that I've made. I've swaged it so that this swaging here will tuck underneath where I cut this line, and when I weld it in, it'll recreate the length that I want. And as I said earlier, all I've got to do at this section here is get it offset. This is the next stage where I've cut this section out. I've taken with my trusty snap-on panel cutter, that's cut out the old section. I'll now let in this piece. I can spot weld it or weld it round where the swage is, line everything up, and this edge here will be turned to recreate this section in here. Well, you can see where this edge here is all corroded. I've made a section here. You can see the swage in it. That will be let in. I'll cut that out through there. There is a joggle at this end where it goes into the tunnel. You'll see that will be all. Well, as you can see now, that's all lined up. The swage is in, all ready now to be welded in. So I'll show you the next stage in a few moments. There it is, all clamped into place. You can see where I've used my combined punch and jodeling tool to punch the holes, which will allow me to MIG weld through those rather than spot weld. I need good strength along there because of course when the other piece is joined onto this end, that's where the seatbelt fastening will go, so it needs to be. There's the new edge all tacked in and swaged at this end. It will all be ground off. This end is in, the length is right, tacked in on this side, fully welded on there. The whole thing I'll show you. This end has got to be flared out because, as you can see from the tunnel, that is round, but this it's just got a squared edge. As you can see, it goes flat on the top and square here and dead straight. So I've got to adjust that so that when the heel board is welded in, everything. What I've got now, as you can see, I've just turned the edge on this. I've let a section in there which I'll weld up. This has been turned so that this edge will all be free. I can then tack it in, remove the heel board, and try and achieve, as I keep repeating, that this side here is fairly flat, whereas this side here protrudes more, and that's what I've tried to reproduce in this. I'll tack it up now, and then there's the final part all welded in. I'll grind that off to flush it, but you can see now that when I fit the tunnel, it'll all fit nicely into the new heel board. All the contours here are right, so fine. Almost finished now, just a bit of welding to do in here. I needn't really have swaged this end, but I already did, so a bit of extra strength won't matter. That's all in. The new section is welded in. This part here is all rebuilt, so I'm happy with that. This part is unavailable, and I don't know when it will be available, so I've had to do this before I can put my kickboard in. There it is, with a bit of well-through zinc paint on it. The seatbelt fixings welded in, the shape right for me. I'm happy with that for now. It'll all be covered with the carpet, but the strength is all there. Hope